Joining me now from Washington, John Dickerson, our CBS News chief Washington correspondent and anchor of Face the Nation. John, Senator Bernie Sanders told you the model of the Democratic Party is failing. Two recent polls find he's the most popular politician in the U.S. and was on a unity tour this week with DNC Chairman Tom Perez. How should we understand Senator Sanders' role in the Democratic Party?
I think there are a lot of people asking that question. Two things struck me. One, when you say the Democratic Party is failing, he's speaking a truth, and he went on to give all the examples of why that's the case. But if you're the chairman of the Democratic Party, to hear the most popular politician in the country say that your party is failing is just, it's a problem. Secondly, when I asked Senator Sanders about his very valuable email list, which is basically that golden list of people who donated to his campaign, he said, well, he's going to build a progressive movement, as if that were separate and apart from the Democratic Party. So these are things that the Democrats have to work out, and they tend to exacerbate the internal tensions. On the other hand, parties don't survive unless they can assess their own conditions and improve. So this is the kind of messiness that happens with American political parties.
Well, John, I want to highlight a figure from this Washington Post ABC News poll out Sunday. Despite his low approval among American adults, President Trump's approval is at 94% among his base. What are the implications of that disparity?
Well, the implications are if the president thinks his base is the country, and in a lot of ways he has, then he's going to keep doing what he's doing. I think what you have at the moment in the way the base sees President Trump is they see a person trying and fighting and struggling against the Washington mob, blob, or whatever else they want to call it, that he wants to dismantle. And so any difficulties that he may have, they will chalk up to not his issues or problems, but just the strength of that Washington bureaucracy that they have hated for so long. And so it's perfectly understandable their support for him. The question, as you started it, though, is what does that mean for the president? As he looks out over the country, does he think, hey, the people I like are still cheering me on and I'm going to continue on the path I'm on? Or does he think I've got to adjust and change some things to get things done, which will actually help those people who are supporting me? Because at the moment, because he hasn't passed legislation, he is not on track to doing a lot of things that will materially benefit the lives of the people who voted to send him to Washington.
Well, John, on Face the Nation, you cited this quote from Congressman Tom Cole, a senior Republican on the House Appropriations Committee. Quote, if you shut down the government while you're running it and you control the House and the Senate, you can't blame anybody but yourself. What's at stake in the fight over funding this week?
Well, at stake at first is a definition of what a shutdown would mean. So Congressman Cole has basically said it's on the Republicans, no matter what the underlying facts are. Obviously, the White House and others would make quite a different case. They would say that, for example, Democrats who don't want to support the border wall are shutting down the government because they want illegal activity to continue. So that'll be a debate we'll have for a few days. It looks like the House Republicans, and Tom Cole is a really good stand-in for the voice of leadership on the House Republican side. It looks like they want to be done with the shutdown talk, get it out of the way, and get back to moving on to trying to do some of the other big things they want to try and do. The question is whether the president is on for that. And we'll learn this week where he stands relative to where Republican leaders in Congress stand.
Well, John, you are interviewing President Trump next weekend on his 100th day in office. We know that 100-day mark is a somewhat arbitrary mark, which the president called ridiculous. Why should the American people care about it?
Well, they should care about it because it's a moment to take stock. As you point out, it's a historic relic from the FDR period where FDR had an emergency and had a number of different conditions that allowed quick action to take place. But it is our tradition over the time to take a look at presidencies at 100 days. It's such a tradition that President Trump himself as a candidate made several boasts for a long period of time about the things he would accomplish by that 100-day mark. So we'll take him as the one who set that 100-day mark as an important one. We'll take him up on that offer, talk about what he's learned, what the first 100 days were like, and what the next 100 look like.
Sure to be a fascinating conversation. John Dickerson in Washington. John, thanks so much.
Thanks, Elaine.